Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. And today's video we'll be making some chicken gizzards, and chicken gizzards are part of the chicken giblet. For this, first we need to dice up around 3 onions, and we need a lot of green chili, preferably as much as you like. Now we need some ginger and some garlic. Well, now for our gizzards we need about 500 grams of them, and we also need some 2 diced tomatoes. For our spices, we need some red chili powder, some ground turmeric, half tablespoon of each, half a tablespoon of crushed coriander seeds, dried fenugreek leaves, half a tablespoon of salt, half a tablespoon of garam masala, half a tablespoon of dried cumin seeds, a cinnamon stick, some cloves, some black cardamom, and some cumin seeds. And these are the spices we're going to be using for our mixture and for our gizzard. Now into a pot with some water, we're going to be adding in all of our gizzards. Now we're going to let this boil for around 30 whole minutes, and we're only going to put a few of our spices, not spicy, we're only going to put a few of our things into it. We're going to put in our cinnamon stick, our black cardamom, our cumin seeds, and our cloves, and we're just going to let this to boil. We're also going to add in our salt from earlier. Now this is what we're going to use, and we're going to let this boil for around 30 whole minutes. We're going to let it cook. And now, after it's been cooked, we're going to transfer all of it into a bowl. You can see how much water it has, and you can see the stock that's inside, the stock that has developed. And I'm going to be using this later on. Now into the same pot, we're going to add in some oil. And yeah, we're going to heat up the oil, and we're going to be frying up some onions. We're going to make sure that the onions are not going to be caramelized. So we're going to get the onions ready, and now we're going to add all of the onions into the oil. We're going to cook the onions with the oil for around like 1 to 2 minutes, and then we're going to be moving on to our next step. So with the handle, we're going to mix everything up. Now the onion should release some water, and it should start looking just like this, guys. And now we're going to add in our garlic. And now we're just going to mix all of this together with the onions. We're going to let it cook, and we're also going to mix it for around 1 to 2 minutes. And then we're going to move on to the rest of our spices, guys. And now the last thing, we're going to add tomatoes. And yeah, we're going to let that cook as well. And the onions, you can see the onions are still pretty white since we've only been cooking them for a little bit. And we're not going to let them go a deep brown color just yet, guys. We're going to keep mixing. And next, we're going to add some ground turmeric and red chili powder from earlier. We also added our cumin powder. And now we're also just going to mix this up for another 1 to 2 minutes. Now this recipe is very fast and really easy. And now we added our crushed coriander seeds, and we're just going to mix this all really nicely, guys. We're going to mix this for another couple of minutes. As I was saying earlier, this recipe is really fast and really simple. It's good for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's really high in protein. And now we just added a little bit of salt, around like a pinch of salt, and this is the last thing we're going to add before we're going to add in our gizzards from earlier that have been sitting in the bowl. Now we're finally going to add in our gizzards with all the stock that was left behind. And now we're just going to mix it all together. And yeah, this is basically the final step. And we're also going to do some garnishing at the end, guys. We're going to give this a nice mix for also a couple of minutes. And yeah, now we're going to add in our dried fenugreek leaves. They usually go in the end, just like here, guys. And we're going to keep mixing. This should be ready in around like 5 minutes, guys. And now we're going to cover this with a lid, and we're going to let it cook in its own water and its own juices. After it's done cooking, you can see it looks like this. It's turned into a deepish brown, golden brown / red texture. And now we're going to end it off with some chili, and we're also going to add in our ginger. That was from earlier, guys. And this is the last thing we're going to add before we finish. Now we're also going to add in some coriander, and yeah, and we're also going to add in a squeeze of lemon juice. Now this is all just to garnish at the end, and it gives us some extra flavor. We also added our garam masala right at the very end, guys. We only add garam masala at the end. And we're also going to put in some lemon juice. And yeah, this is practically the recipe, guys. If you enjoyed this recipe, make sure to share it with all your friends, and like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.